All right, people. Gather round, pull up a digital chair, because today we're talking about something super crucial. Something that most people get fundamentally wrong. We're talking about money. Yeah, that green stuff, that paper, those digits in your bank account, and more specifically, where you choose to let it flow. Especially if you're just starting out in your career, or maybe you just got a sweet, sweet bump in your paycheck, and you're feeling a little bit flush, a little bit like a high roller. Let me tell you, this is exactly when you need to be the most strategic, the most intentional with every single dollar. Because if you're not, that extra cash is going to evaporate faster than your New Year's resolutions. Seriously, it's a blink and you'll miss it situation. So I've got 10 things, 10 count 'em, 10 items that I truly believe are absolute non-negotiables. Not just purchases, but investments. Things that will either save you a ton of money down the line or give you an insane return on your investment. Like, we're talking about optimizing your entire life here. Because, let's be real, you're going to spend money anyway, right? Might as well spend it like a boss, like a genius, like someone who actually understands the math and psychology behind true wealth, not some chump who's just throwing cash around, hoping something sticks. First up, and this might sound wild, but hear me out, a good chef's knife and a decent non-stick pan. I know. You're thinking, Humphrey, I thought we were talking about financial freedom, not culinary skills. But listen, if your kitchen looks like a war zone, or if your to move is dialing up DoorDash 3 times a day, then this, my friends, is one of the most underrated, highest return on investment plays you can make right now. Like today, you don't need to go crazy and buy some 12-piece knife block set or an entire 8-piece cookware collection. Absolutely not. We're talking minimalist, strategic, just a killer chef's knife, something that feels good in your hand, that actually cuts things, and a solid non-stick pan. That's it. That's the magic combo. Let me break down the numbers for you because you know I love a good mathematical smackdown. The average American, get this, spends about $350 a month on eating out. That is like $4,200 a year just on restaurant food. Like, that is insane. When I was living in San Francisco pre-good knife and pan era, I was probably dropping $600, maybe even $700 a month easy on takeout. And you know what I was eating? Mostly chicken and rice bowls because I'm a creature of habit and I love a good chicken and rice bowl. But every single time I shelled out $18.16. That's San Francisco prices for you. For a chicken and rice bowl, I was thinking, there's no way this is sustainable. There's no way this makes sense. Because you could buy the same ingredients at the grocery store for like $4 or $5 tops. So when you invest $50 to $100 in a high-quality chef's knife, think of Victorinox Fibrox or a Wusthof Renaissance. It is an absolute game changer, a purchase with an insane return. I personally use a Japanese knife I got at Williams Sonoma. Honestly, I don't even know the brand, but you can find something great at any local kitchen store. Just go in, feel it, make sure it's comfortable, and for a pan, while I currently use our place, honestly, any decent non-stick pan in the $30 to $100 range will do the trick. The quality at that price point is fantastic. Totally meets your everyday needs. No fancy stuff required. Now, let's do some more math. If you cook at home instead of eating out, and you save, let's say, $15 per meal, and you do that just 3 or 4 times a week, that is a saving of $45 to $60 a week. That might not sound like much, but over a full year, we're talking $2,300 to $3,100. All from an initial investment of about $150 to $200 on a good knife and pan. That's a return on investment that even Warren Buffett would be proud of. And if you're thinking, but Humphrey, I can't cook for squat, relax, my friend. There are literally thousands of one-pan meal recipes out there. Websites dedicated to making delicious, healthy meals with minimal effort and equipment. It is something I've been actively working on myself this year. And if you're also on that journey to culinary enlightenment, let me know in the comments. Second, and this one is crucial, if you're going to spend money, and trust me, you absolutely positively need to get a cashback credit card. This isn't exactly a purchase in itself, and that's the beauty of it. It's a prerequisite. It's like leveling up your spending game, because if you're going to buy any of the things we're talking about today, or anything else for that matter, you should be getting rewarded for it, period. I see so many people, especially younger folks, still using debit cards for everything. And look, debit cards are great for not getting into debt because they only let you spend the money you actually have in your bank account. And that's a huge plus. Seriously, huge. But every single time you swipe that debit card, you are leaving money on the table. You are essentially giving away free money. And that, my friends, is financially criminal. I'm telling you, a basic cashback credit card like a Citi Double Cash or a Wells Fargo Active Cash or a Chase Freedom Unlimited. These cards give you anywhere from 1.5% to 2% cash back on every single purchase. Now, a huge caveat here because these are credit cards. You have to be responsible. You have to be like super responsible, because credit cards let you spend more money than you actually have. So you absolutely 100% have to make sure you pay off your full balance every single month. No exceptions. Zero interest paid. Ever. If you can stick to that, then virtually all your everyday expenses can net you an extra 2% back. According to statistics, the average American household spends about $77,000 a year. If you're getting 2% cash back on that, we're talking $1,540 a year. Just free money, just for being smart with your plastic. And that's just for basic cards. If you get into the more advanced credit cards, the rewards get even crazier. Like my Chase Sapphire Reserve, I've already racked up over 89,000 points this year. Now, points aren't exactly cash, but they can be redeemed for about 1 to 2 cents per point. So if you do the math, just from my normal spending, I've essentially earned anywhere from $897 to $1,800 in credit card rewards value. Rewards that I would have never ever gotten if I was still swiping my debit card. And look, those high-end cards can be a bit more complicated with annual fees and bonus categories. So if you want something super simple, just get a flat 2% cashback card. It's a no-brainer. Trust me, it's a game changer. But again, if you struggle with self-control, if credit cards are a slippery slope for you, then stick with the debit card. Seriously, no shame in that game. But I'm guessing since you're watching this video, you're probably more financially savvy than the average bear, and you can absolutely leverage credit cards to your financial advantage. Third on my list. And this is another one that might not feel like a purchase in the traditional sense, but it is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful financial moves you can make, and that is consistently contributing to your Roth individual retirement account, a Roth IRA. I know, retirement accounts, snooze, right? But listen up, if you're in your 20s, 30s, or even your 40s, and you haven't opened a Roth IRA yet, then this, my friends, should be your absolute top financial priority, like before anything else, before that fancy new gadget, before that expensive vacation, before that avocado toast. The Roth IRA is a personal retirement account where you invest after-tax money and then, get this, all the growth, all the gains are completely tax-free when you withdraw them in retirement. That means you will never ever pay a single dollar in taxes on your investment earnings, ever. And that is huge, especially when you consider the power of compounding over 30-40 years in the stock market. Seriously, it's mind-blowing. If you're in your 20s, and you max out your Roth IRA every single year, which is $7,500 for 2024, and you consistently invest that money into low-cost index funds. By the time you retire at 65, you'd have approximately $1.94 million. And it is all tax-free, all of it. And if you're wondering where I got that 8% average annual return, that's basically the inflation adjusted average return of the S&P 500 index, which tracks the 500 largest companies in the U.S. It is a solid, diversified investment, and another amazing thing about the Roth IRA, you can always withdraw your contributions, not your earnings, but the money you put in, you can take that out at any time without any penalties, which means your money isn't totally locked up. It offers a ton of flexibility. I personally didn't open mine until I was 26, and looking back, I regret not starting at 21. Those 5 years of miscompounding cost me over $70,000 in tax-free. Gained $70,000 just gone. Because I waited, so if you haven't opened one, please, I beg you, do it this week. Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Vanguard. It takes like 15 minutes. Seriously, it is that easy. Now, after I opened my Roth IRA, I realized I wanted to put as much money into it as possible, and that meant I really had to start tracking and paying attention to where my money was actually going, especially those sneaky, easy to miss recurring subscription payments. I'm talking about those weather apps, those flight tracker apps, all those random things you signed up for once and completely forgot about. Those small weekly or monthly charges really add up. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. And the waste, the sheer waste, is truly staggering. And this, my friends, brings me to today's sponsor, Rocket Money. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you lower your bills, easily cancel unwanted subscriptions, and truly understand where every single one of your dollars is going. You just link your bank accounts, and Rocket Money will show you all your subscriptions in one place, so you can see what's active. No more digging through old statements trying to figure out what that random charge is. From there, with just a few taps, you can easily cancel those services you're no longer using, giving you complete control over your money flow. I used to be terrible with impulse spending on things like sushi, like seriously bad, until I started itemizing my bills and really seeing where all my money was going. Sushi is delicious, don't get me wrong, but that uncontrolled spending was frankly embarrassing. Now, I use Rocket Money to keep myself accountable and prevent those same mistakes. If you want to try it out, just head over to rocketmoney.com/Humphrey. You can start for free or scan the QR code on your screen or click the link in the video description. That is rocketmoney.com/Humphrey. Big thanks to them for sponsoring this video, fourth on the list. And this is a big one for a lot of people, especially when they get that first big job or that big raise. Buy a reliable used car, not a brand new shiny luxury whip. I know the temptation is real, but a new car is almost never a smart financial move. These days, the average price of a new car is nearing $50,000, which means your monthly car payment could be as high as $750. That is just wild. Meanwhile, a 3 to 5 year old used car, think a Toyota Camry, a Honda Civic, or a Mazda 3 can be bought for anywhere between $18,000 and $22,000. These cars have already taken the biggest hit in depreciation, which happens in the first 2 to 3 years of ownership, but they still have a ton of life left in them. Those brands I just mentioned, they're absolute workhorses. If you take care of them, they'll easily run for 150,000, even 200,000 miles or more, no problem. Let me run the numbers for you because you know I love my math. Imagine you buy a $20,000 3-year-old Toyota Camry, instead of financing a $35,000 brand new Camry over 72 months. If you finance that new Camry at 7% interest over 6 years, your monthly payment would be $597, and you'd pay almost $7,960 in total interest, bringing your total cost to over $43,000. Now, if you go for that $20,000 used car with a smaller principal and less interest, your monthly payment would only be $341. Under the same loan conditions, saving you a substantial amount of money over several years. Yeah, you'll still pay interest, but only $4,551 in total, saving you about $3,400 compared to the new car. And don't even get me started on insurance. New cars are significantly more expensive to insure than used cars. We're talking an extra $100 to $200 a month depending on the model and your location. That adds up. That is another $1,200 to $2,400 a year just because you wanted that new car smell. When you're looking for a used car, do your research, find models known for their high reliability and low maintenance costs. The goal here isn't to buy some clunker off Craigslist. It's to buy a car that gets you from point A to point B without, emptying your bank account every single month. Fifth on the list, a good mattress. Seriously, this one changed my life because we spend so much of our lives sleeping. There is this crazy statistic. If you live to 80 years old, you'll spend about 25 years of your life sleeping. And that is kind of depressing, right? Because if you're 80, you feel like you've experienced 80 years of life. But really, you've only experienced 55 years, and I don't even count 0 to 8, so maybe even less, like 47 years. But regardless, the point is, if you're going to spend that much of your life doing something, you better make sure the thing you're doing it on is the absolute best. When I was in my 20s, I always bought the cheapest mattress I could find. I'd order them off Amazon or some other e-commerce site, and just sleep on whatever showed up. And my sleep was terrible. I'd wake up with back pain every single day, just constantly exhausted. I actually have an email from 2014, a real email, where I bought a mattress sight unseen and had to return it because of back pain. And the worst part about returning a mattress is that sometimes they can't even take it back because you've used it. They can't sell it to someone else. So they usually have to pick it up and either throw it away or donate it to charity, and that just felt incredibly wasteful. So the next time I bought a mattress, I actually went to a store. I tried out a bunch, and I invested in a quality one. And here is the thing about bad sleep. You don't really know how bad it is until you experience good sleep. So the first thing I noticed after getting a better mattress was that I was sleeping so much deeper, which in turn gave me more energy. My body felt better. I felt more creative throughout the day. And I also noticed that people will drop $1,200 on the latest iPhone without batting an eye, but they'll hesitate to spend the same amount on a good mattress. I honestly encourage everyone to invest in a quality mattress with good support. It doesn't have to be the most expensive one on the market, just a good one. In addition to that, I highly recommend investing in essential office equipment if you work remotely a lot, then getting a high-quality external monitor, or even setting up a dual-screen system.